Harold and the Purple Crayon. Why? Because I get requests. I have one viewer who likes the family-friendly films and the animated films, and I do make it a point to at least appease to that demographic. And because you ask, it's not that big and that big a skin off my nose. That being said, look, it's Harold and the Purple Crayon. It's a book based off a book series that had no real structure or plot to it to really speak of. And so you're trying to create a story around a book series that didn't have an actual story to it. It very much like in the vein of Lyle Lyle Crocodile or Clifford the Big Red Dog, things along those lines. And this falls directly into that type of film. With that said, these types of films, from what I recall, are never god-awful. They're not like, ugh, but they're never that good either. Let me just get Rotten Tomatoes up here again to see what exactly, because last I checked, it was not good. Its score. So, but let's see where Harold and the Purple Crayon currently stands. Last I checked, at like 22 reviews, it was like 36%. So, not very good. But let's see now that it's been out for a day, day and a half, 2 days ish. Let's see where it stands. Oof. So with a now grand total of, how many reviews is it now? Only 35 reviews. I am surprised. To be fair, I don't know how many critics really want to go out and see the film, but only 29% from the 35 reviews, which means hypothetically it could get a positive if more people saw it and liked it. I don't know how many are going to see it and like it, though. I mean, I'm just getting a critic consensus here. A high-concept treatment that misses out on the blissful simplicity of the source material. Harold and the Purple Crayon is a tribute to imagination that's content to only color inside the lines. So you know what? While I don't always agree with a lot of these reviews, particularly recently the Deadpool Wolverine reviews from a lot of the people who didn't like it, I think they just, I'm talking about a completely different movie here, but just to make the point I'm making, I think a lot of the people who did not like it either didn't like the first two Deadpool movies, or were really expecting something that this movie was not selling. But regardless, I say that because that description I just read, not a bad way to kind of describe the film. Because it is a paint-by-numbers film when you really break it down. The plot of the movie is very simple. Harold and his friends Porcupine and Moose are living in their world. The narrator disappears, the author. He draws a door into the real world, which apparently works. And they're in the real world trying to find the old man. And they run across this mom and her son. There's a bad guy who wants the crayon. There you go. It's what they just said. Stays within the lines. Harold's going to have a moment of doubt, then come back. That's really on the nose, actually. It's very much just a paint by numbers. Okay, they exist in a world that doesn't have any of the same rules as our world. They're not used to the real world and their rules. Okay, you're going to get the fish out of water story going on there. They don't know how to interact in the world at all. You're going to get the bad guy wanting the crayon. You're going to get a face off of the bad guy. You're going to get the overworked mom and the kid with the imagination, and the mom doesn't want to believe anymore. And as you're adult, you get older. Drawing inside the lines is a very good way to describe this film. Now, I will say, though, I think they're not devoid of creativity. They're not. That being said, they didn't go as far as you'd like, I think, with the creativity with God, excuse me. Sorry, I just ate dinner maybe like 20 minutes ago. And I'm just getting hiccups as I'm talking. Not even hiccups, just it's trying to come back on me. But, no. So, they don't do as much imaginative stuff with the crayon as you maybe would like. Honestly, the most imaginative stuff, ironically, comes from the kid. And we see this in the trailer. At one point, he's got the crayon, and he draws his pet, Carl, I think his name is, who is a lion, dragon, eagle hybrid, or spider fly or something. he's ironically got the most imagination among any of them, but he rarely uses the crayon at all. So it's otherwise just standard things he's drawing. Not that I'm being wrong. He's still using his imagination, definitely, and he's still using the crayon quite a bit in this movie. And I'll even say this, visually, first off, I do like the little catch-22 that everything he draws is purple. But I do like the look of how it looks when he's drawing in the real world. I do like that. I think that looks good. And then he's like, you don't have to be an expert drawer, it's just your imagination brings it to life. I thought that when it comes to stuff I actually did like in the film, I thought the bad guy was generic, but because it's played by, because it's played by, where is he? Oh, come on. Of course he's Jermaine Clement. He's got just a fun vibe. Like, he's like, this guy's kind of a slimy douche, but it's kind of fun watching him juxtaposed to like Zachary Levi, who's just a giant man-child. Like, he kind of played in Shazam a little bit. Alfred Molina is the voice of the narrator. Zooey Deschanel is fine. I'm not a big Zooey Deschanel fan, but she's okay. But it leads me to, and I will say this, when they're actually like doing like say the imagination fight, like his imagination versus Harold's imagination, that gets kind of creative. That gets kind of fun to a little degree. And I will actually say this, and there was like 6 other people, like 2 families in there with me. There were a couple jokes where even the adults actually kind of laugh. There's one line that says, "I got to get me some crayons." I won't say exactly what the context is, but it was actually a line where we all got a good laugh out of it. There was also funny jokes here. Not funny, but humorous jokes that, honestly, the adults could actually get some entertainment from. And I didn't dislike Zooey Deschanel in this film that much, and I actually liked the kid fine, playing her son. But there's a lot of issues. One, like I said, it's a paint by numbers, safe drawing within the lines type of movie. And because of that, it gets very frustrating very quick when the answer to something is very simple. For example, it takes the mom, I'm not going to this isn't too big of spoilers, you can kind of get the idea that the mom's not going to be able to recognize the magic until much later on. It takes the mom to like the last act of the movie to realize, oh, he was right about the purple crayon, magic, all that. When she's me, like, I don't want to hear anything about purple crayons or magic crayons. And she's constantly like this. You know your answer? Don't say, just do. It's like, and just go, ball, ice cream, elephant. Like, that's what you need to do. That's all you need to do to prove to her. Seriously, it's not that difficult of concept. But of course, they need her to like these guys, but not like these guys. You know, they're weird. They don't understand that. It's think of better. Now, to the movie's credit, and Zachary Levi's fine too. To the movie's credit, they do play Harold as someone who's very trusting. Isn't stupid. He's just blindly naive, but because he's a good guy and all that, he's very prone to listening to people. And therefore, when she says, don't mention that, it's like, okay, I won't do that. So I get that vibe. But, again, tired tropes. I'll be honest, I don't mind Lil Ray Howery. I like Lil Ray Howery. Who plays the live action version of Moose. But I'm honestly not, it's not the actress. When Porcupine turns into a human, because you see that in the trailer, turn into a human, God almighty, is she kind of annoying. Like, she just comes off as very obnoxious, rude, inconsiderate. Now, granted, all these guys are not used to the real world. I get that. But, yeah, not very likable as Porcupine live action. not likable. And That could be a directing choice, though. Obviously, that's nothing on the actresses. She was playing what she was having to play fine. And it's not like she's god awful throughout the entire movie. It's just she's really breaking like a dozen laws. So, yeah. Overall, would I say this is a bad movie? No. Again, I would put it in the same boat as something like a Lyle Lyle Crocodile or a Clifford the Big Red Dog. Neither of which were that bad, but they're not like amazing either. So, yeah, I'd put it right there. This is not going to be making my top 10 list. It's also not probably going to be on the... I mean, I have to see the rest of the movies coming out this year, or at least the rest of that I'll be seeing. But it's probably not going to be in my top 10 worst either. Well, actually, I haven't seen a lot of bad movies, so it could be near the bottom. I've seen a couple bad ones this year. I have. But we'll see what happens. Until then, though, what did you think if you did see the film? Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you folks for the next one. Have a good one.